Kevin, meditating?
Yeah, trying to figure out how to not kill this guy. So, question from the peanut gallery. Can you weld just rusty old spikes? You know, you got the TIG welder all set up. What happens? What happens if you don't clean the metal at all? Just throw it in there and just try to weld it. So why do you clean them? Now, let's start with that. Why do you have to, you know, take it down to bright shiny metal? Why do you get rid of the rust? Well, because the rust, and really any of the imperfections, so be it rust, be it mill scale, be it paint, grease, whatever, if it's not just plain old bright shiny metal, what's going to happen is that contaminant is going to burn, it's going to bubble, it's going to outgas, it's going to do all kinds of crazy things when the arc hits it. And you're going to get all these foreign bodies, mill scale, paint, rust, oils, mixed into the molten puddle. And it's just going to make a mess. God, it'll make such a mess. And the worst thing it does is now all these contaminants, all these foreign bodies, all this not metal that's mixed into the puddle, now you have a weak joint. So now any kind of flex, any kind of stress, any kind of pull, that weld's going to fail. It'll pop right apart. You know, if you're doing X-ray certified welds, you know, like for the food industry or the nuclear industry, something like that, where they're going to come in and check it with an X-ray machine, they're going to find a hole. They're going to find a pocket inside that weld. You got to go back in, grind that all out, start all over, start from the beginning. So that's why you clean them. Clean it, get it clean, shiny, bright. That's the best way to do it. So the setup here, 2 rusty old spikes out of the bucket. They haven't been cleaned up at all. I've got my vise clamped to the table. I've got the ground hooked to the table. So we're just going to take that rusty old spike, put it in there, wiggle it around a little bit just so it can kind of hopefully get connection. So we can have, you know, electrical connection through there. And then the other nasty old spike, I gotta grind that off. Helmet, here we go. We got 170 amps on the machine. We've got 1/8 inch tungsten, freshly ground. So let's just go ahead and light it up and we'll see how big a mess we make. We got a little puddle going there. We got some sparkles coming off of it. Lots of stuff burning off. So let me see, how many things can we find wrong here? First off, end of the tungsten just melted from all of the contaminants bubbling up off of it. Down on the weld itself, kind of started out okay. And then you start seeing bubbles come up, start seeing porosity come up in the weld right in here. And then it kind of finished out, a little bit of a crater, you know, pretty darn ugly looking. I imagine if I cut this open and etched it to try to show the weld, show the penetration, you'd find there really wasn't much. So that's why you like to clean them. You know, that's why you should clean them. Clean the metal. Get rid of any contamination on it. It just comes out so much better. It comes out so much nicer. Now, and just to show you the difference, I've got a couple of them all nice and bright and shiny, cleaned up on the grinder, get rid of all of the rust and contamination that's on there. I hit the sides of one just to clean that up a little bit. When I put it in my vise, I got electrical contact. You know, I'm not trying to work through the rust. So let me clamp that back in there, and we're just going to set that up just like we did with the other one. And let me show you a couple of welds with everything all nice and clean. you know, it sounds better, it's cleaner, it's not all sparkly. So this is the clean metal weld over here. And you look at this one, and it was with all the rust on it. So I hope that answers your questions. Helps, you know, makes you realize that, yeah, you really have to clean these. You have to clean that metal up to get a good weld out of it. And you owe me a 6-pack. We'll see you next time.